Hi everyone, for this video I am going to be talking about my Viseart Petit Pro 2 palette. Now this is one of 3 palettes that I hauled from Sephora Philippines. Now this is my first time to play with Viseart products, so I'm so excited for this video. Now if you are interested in seeing the videos for my Petit Pro 1 and for my Petit Pro Apricotine, I'm going to put links down in the description box so that you can go and check it out for yourself. Alright, so this is the Petit Pro 2, so it still comes with a cardboard box, and these are the colors that we are going to expect to see when we open the palette. So of course at the back we still have their names, the ingredients list, and for this particular palette, it states here that this was actually made in the United States and it has a 36-month use by date upon opening. So that in itself is very great because you can use this for quite a long time. And for the packaging itself, it's very similar to the Petit Pro 1. It still has this paper or like cardboard feel to it. And of course, you have this ribbon here. When you actually open it up, you can see the name Viseart here. And of course, the mirror is still there. And if we flip it over, we still have the plastic packaging to protect the eyeshadow products, and this is the Petit Pro 2. So of course the top row will always be a matte shade and then the bottom row will be shimmer eyeshadows. Now this is a very interesting color story, I have to say, and there are also some colors here that are quite similar to the Petit Pro 1 palette. Now I'm actually thinking of mixing them together, but wait. Alright, so this is actually my first time to notice this, but can you? Okay, so they actually have, so this is like a magnetized palette, so you can actually remove it, and this also means that once you run out of a color here, you can maybe go to Viseart and refill it with the color that you just ran out of. So that itself is very great because, you know, sometimes when you have a palette, you end up using only one color most of the time, or 2 or 3, and you run out. And sometimes there are some palettes at the market wherein you can't refill them. But I'm so glad that you can refill this because it's such a waste of packaging a product if you can't, right? So that's great to know. So I'm just gonna go to Viseart.com after I've shot this video, and I'm gonna scour their site and to see what else their brand offers for people who are enjoying their products. But anywho, so this is the Petit Pro 2. And on the get-go, very interesting mix, but I can see that there are 2 colors here that I might not be using on myself because they're just too red. Now maybe if you had blue eyes, this would be great, but on me, I don't think it could be, I don't think it's gonna look well. But anywho, let's swatch these and get to know the Petit Pro 2 palette. Oh my god, I have cotton here. Didn't notice that. Anyway, so let's start with the matte shades, and this color here is called Petal, and it looks to be like a very nice peachy shade, very light in coloring. So this might be a nice, you can use this for like diffusing transition colors. Very interesting. And the next color that we have here is called Nectar. Okay, so that's a very vibrant color, very like, how do I describe it? It's like an orangey pink color. It kind of reminds me of like Orgasm X blush from NARS without the shimmer. Very interesting color, very warm. And the next color that we have here is this brown shade, and this is called Honeysuckle. Okay, so it has a little bit of like a violet undertone to it, so it's still neutral, great for defining the eyes. And the last color that we have here is called Foxglove. This is a nice purple color. Okay, so it's not as intense. Oh, let's try it again. Let's press on it some more. Let's watch it. Okay, so it's not as intense as the other matte colors, but it's still cool. And you can use this, like, you know, to intensify or to blend out transition colors or to use it as a transition color. So these are the 4 matte colors of the Petit Pro 2 palette. Okay, let's start swatching the shimmer eyeshadows. And the first color that we have here is called Primrose. Ooh, and it's a very nice peachy, pinky eyeshadow. And it has some violet shimmer in it, so that's very pretty. It looks quite foily when we face the pigment to the light. Very pretty. And the next color that we have here is named Clove, and it has this amazing red tone to it. Wow. And it also has that violet shimmer that I have seen in the primrose shimmer here. That's a very nice color. Ooh, very vibrant. That's great. And the next color that we have here, the third color, is called Cosmos. And let's swatch it. Oh wow, it's more purplish, and I can see that it has like this violet shimmer again, which is I think like the unifying colors of these three eyeshadows so far. This is quite intense. This is very pretty. I like this color. Very plummy, eggplanty. And the next color that we have here is called Aster. And let's swatch it here. Okay, so it's more mauvey, so it's lighter than the previous color. And it still has like a violet shimmer on it. So this is actually quite nice, more delicate. So I think this is like the unifying color of these four colors. It has like hints of violet in it. So these are the four shimmer eyeshadows of that Petit Pro 2 palette. Okay, so again, let's add some eyeshadow base, just so that our eyeshadows have something to cling to. Now, I know there are some of you who like to use like foundation or concealer, but I don't really like to do that because I live in a very humid country. And also, why do I still have cotton here? Anyway, and also I don't want to add so much texture on the eye. And sometimes adding more product on the eye can be quite uncomfortable. So that's why I prefer to use a much more thinner eye base on my eyelid. Okay, so I'm actually quite intrigued with this purple shade here. So let's try to see how well this will register on the eyes. Okay, I'm just gonna remove some of the product at the back of my hand to prevent fallout, and let me just apply it all over my eyelid. Okay, this is very interesting because when I swatched this color on my arm, it was a very vibrant color and very deep, but with this brush, well, it's a fluffy brush anyway, so that's why it looks more diffused. So let's just do this first as the initial color, and let's just blend it out. Okay, so I want to intensify this eye even more, and I'm pulling out my very old Laura Mercier all over eyeshadow brush. Now, this brush is no longer available in the market, and this is actually what I use if I want to pack in eyeshadow colors like these all over the eyelid. Alright, so as you can see, I'm liking that. It's now packing on the color all over the eyes. Well, I'm just pressing it lightly and blending it at the same time on top of my lid and well into my crease and into my socket line. And I'm going back with my fluffy blending brush and diffusing the eye color upward and outward in circular motions. Okay, so this is a very nice violet eyeshadow color, and I like that it's matte. And it's proving to be quite easy to blend. I like that. Okay, so I'm just like correcting everything and blending it together and connecting. Okay, so I just want to intensify the outer portion of the eyelid, and then I'm going back to this color here, and I'm just pressing on the pigment at the outer corner here so that I create a much more nicer depth of color at the outer portion of my eye. And I'm just blending it softly. All right, this is a very nice color. I like that. And then what I want to do now is I want to add this shimmer color here, and I'm just going to be using my finger, and I'm going to lightly press it onto my eyelid. And I'm actually liking how these colors are working well together. Oh, that's very pretty. You have this like nice plummy eggplant eyeshadow look. And I want to pick up this color here. Now I'm using a damp brush, and I would like to see how well the colors apply, and it's actually making the vibrant pigment of this eyeshadow to come out. So that's very pretty. So I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this eye look now. Okay, so let's add some of this purple color to the lower lash line here. Again, I'm seeing some fallout, and I think that's because of the formula of this eyeshadow product, but that's fine because you don't have any foundation on or concealer. So I think it's best when you're using like the matte eyeshadows of Viseart that you don't put anything on your face first. So it's much more easier for us to actually clean up without actually repeating the process again. So I want to add some definition, and let's try to see if this eyeshadow will work. and a lot of product disturbance going on, but that's fine. And let's press it lightly on our upper lash line. Okay, so let's tap that at the back of our hand to remove any excess product. And I'm just adding it lightly on my lash line to create some depth. Try that on our lower lash line too. Okay, so that's nice. I like this. So I want to pick up some of this color here and maybe just add a teeny tiny bit here for some emphasis and also for some blending. I like that. This is very pretty, but as you can see here, I have a ton of fallout. So if we just, as you can see, that's the eyeshadow that was falling. So again, I have to reiterate, we have to be very careful when we're using the matte eyeshadows of Viseart. And let's just remove that a bit. Okay, that works well. And let's try using the other colors here on my other eye. Okay, so I'm quite curious with this color here. And I'm using my Sonia G Worker brush, and I'm just pressing the eye color on my eyelid. And wow, it's actually like applying very well. So I'm just applying it slowly and I'm just patting it in because I'm trying to make sure that I have very little fallout. But oh my god, look at this color. This is amazing. So if you have blue eyes or green eyes, this will work very well if you want to add some drama into your eyelid. And this is what I've noticed with the Viseart shimmers so far, is that they don't fall out much as their matte eyeshadows. So their shimmer eyeshadows gives you much more playtime and you don't really have to be very careful about it. But with the matte eyeshadows, you have to take your time with it and you just have to be very careful because this is a ton of color on my eyes at the moment. And there's no fallout so far. Okay, very interesting color, I have to say. Okay, so I'm just adding some of that color into my lower lash line here. Very interesting. Okay, I'm just going to remove the excess color on a microfiber towel here on my table. And I'm just going to blend this eyeshadow product and buff it out, because again, with eye products, blending is the key. But this is a very nice color though, I have to say. Like, you know, I could imagine using this for an editorial, which I haven't done in quite a while. But this is a very pretty color, very like great for a night out, because all of the shimmer here will reflect all of the light, especially when you're in a disco or in a club, which I don't think it's gonna open sometime soon, but hopefully we can all go out before the year ends. Or maybe if you have like a Zoom party, this would be a great eyeshadow to try as well. And I also think that this color will work well for people who have deep skin tones, because this will work well in, like, you know, just attracting light and lifting the tones of your skin. And let's just blend that some more. Let's just blend. Because after all, blending is the key. So I'm feeling quite adventurous with my eyeshadow today, so I would pick this up a teeny tiny bit. And I'm just gonna use this, like, you know, to create like a transition color and to help blend out this shimmer color and just to tone it down a bit. Because, you know, sometimes if there's just too much shimmer on the eyes, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't create any definition. And matte eyeshadows really help in blending out colors extremely well. And I'm just gonna go back to this light peachy shade here, and I'm gonna use that on my brow bone area, just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, so I want to add some definition, so I'm gonna go back to the deepest shade here on the palette, and I'm just going to line my upper lash line with it, the usual, just for some added definition. And again, with the matte eyeshadow products, I can see some fallout already. Okay, so I can see some definition going on, and it's just a nice tone to it that works well with the red undertones of the initial eyeshadow that I used. And let's add more definition by picking up this deep tone and applying it into the crease. Okay, it works very well together. I can see that the matte and the shimmer colors are mixing very well, and they are enhancing each other, and it doesn't look muddy at all, so that's great. It's very easy to use and very easy to mix. They mix fairly well. I'm glad about that. Okay, let's add some of the color here to the outer portion of the eyelid, just so we have a seamless application of color. All right, so this is it. this is how the Viseart Petit Pro 2 palette looks on my eyes. It's very vibrant and very lovely, and I'm finding that it's actually very easy to blend them together, both shimmer and matte colors, but there's just a teeny tiny learning curve that I have to go through in order to apply them properly. So that's it from me today. Now, if you have any more questions about the products that I used today, please leave them down at the comments box below and let's have a conversation about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye bye.